for a special lunch and learn with Luis Molina again. And we are going to be talking about peer-to-peer trading signals today.
Great. Hi, Brett. How are you, man?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Very
Excellent.
well.
Um, where do we get started? I know that this is based off some questions that others have had in the channels in
Yeah,
Telegram. Um, oops. I hate.
yeah, maybe you can go to my profile there at the governance system, and I will show you what is coming next.
Sure. Let me reload from the plugin workspace. I don't know if my saved workspace updates with everything current all the time.
Okay, so
And
let me start talking about the peer-to-peer network. Today we have like 3 teams working on the social aspect of the project. One is doing the mobile app, is Alexandru. The desktop app, another team of developers, and I am doing the peer-to-peer network. So they are working with a version of the peer-to-peer network that I would say is like the first iteration. Um, so um, essentially, you can try this out already. You just need to run one peer-to-peer node, and then you can use the desktop application that I made like a for testing, right?
okay.
Okay, so let me explain what is going on here and my profile with these nodes that I am adding there. On the right, you have the token switch, the token power switch, right? That
Mm-hmm.
is for governance. We already know about that. But all these Bitcoin icons, they are the new stuff that is coming next, right?
Okay.
So what's the idea? We have a we have a peer-to-peer network that is going to be used for a few things. Let's say one is to support decentralized social network of both humans and bots, right? So
Sure.
we will have a decentralized social network for humans in the sense that we are going to build an app similar to what people is used to operate with in social network, like Twitter, for example, where you can have a profile, you can make posts, you can uh, have a timeline, you can reply to posts of other people, and you can react to those posts. Okay. In
Cool.
fact, that is the first iteration and the first goal that these 2 teams, the mobile app team and the desktop team, are going to, to try to get there for the month of December, right? So the first iteration is about the a decentralized social network for people. After that, we will hook there like trading bots. So in your profile, you might have one or more trading bots, and this bot will be able to follow other bots that and that relationship to follow will mean that they will be able to when one bot trades, the bot that are following this bot are going to make the same trade. They are going to copy their trade.
Okay.
Okay, so in parallel to this, there is also the use case for the network to distribute trading signals. Okay, so the trading signals is not the operation of who follows who and who posts what. Okay, it's an,
Okay.
it's a it's a different stuff. The trading signals have an origin in hopefully in a trading bot running at the Superalgos platform, and it has to get into the network and get distributed across the network, right? So how are we going to do this? Okay, to get there, one of the first milestones we have or waypoints we have to go through is allow a bot in the platform, the ones that you currently run, to emit signals, and these signals to be received by another bot in the platform. Okay, that's like a
Mhm.
natural first step before sending this to external application. I should be able to follow you, okay,
Okay.
with my bot inside the platform. Okay, so I am also working on this, and I hope to have this working on during this month. So, well, we have all these pieces to put together like a big puzzle. Okay, so we have trading bots sending signals into the network that are going to be uh, incoming signal for all other trading bots that are going to be uh, waiting for them, right? Inside the
Mhm.
platform. But at the same time, we have signals that will go across the network and go to the mobile app, the desktop app, and one day to this server app. Okay, so the network has to deal with several problems at the same time. Okay, one of the problem is how do you prevent spam if the if we hope we are aiming for the network nodes to to be free of charge in the sense
Mhm.
that they are not going to charge in fees. Okay, so how do you prevent spam? That's one question. And the other question is how do you do for if you have a mobile application that is following my bot, okay, and the signal is going to go through a peer-to-peer network of nodes. How can you know that the signal you receive is actually coming from my bot and not from somebody else's bot?
Mhm.
And how do you know the signal was not changed in the middle, was not tempered in the middle? Okay,
Mhm.
so this problem has to be addressed. The solution for the second problem is that everything that goes through the network is going to be cryptographically signed, right? So that means that the bot that is going to send the signal is going to sign the signal, and then at your phone you're going to be able to verify that signature. And by doing that, you can be certain that comes from the bot that you're following. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So now all the pieces start kind of putting in place in your mind. If I can have any question, you can interrupt me. Okay? Because I will
Sure.
continue going deeper and deeper until I lost you. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. So the first problem of how we're going to deal with spam is because all the entities that are going to interact with the peer-to-peer network are going to be entities. Let's call them network clients. Okay,
Mhm.
peer-to-peer network clients. These type of entities are all going to present themselves to the network with their token power. Okay, so depending on the amount of token power they present to the network, too, they will be granted a certain bandwidth, a certain rate for sending stuff over the network, being these stuff signals
Mhm.
or being anything else like posting or doing other stuff. That way, I believe that we can have a network that is free for users, even if they have zero token,
Mhm.
but they will be limited in the rate they will be able to access it. Like naturally, if you have
Mhm.
zero token, you will have to go slowly, right?
Mhm.
While the people who have a lot of token on the other side will be able to send many signals in a short period of time, and they are going to get through to all their followers, okay, because they have a lot of tokens to
Mhm.
support that. Okay, so we are discovering another use case that we haven't talked about, the token. We were talking about priority, like followers with more tokens will have the signal first, and that is still valid and correct. Okay,
Mhm.
but at the same time, to interact with the network, you will need to have a certain amount of token if you want. For example, if you are a signal provider, if you want your signal to be going through the network like easily,
Mm-hmm.
or having to wait until you can send the next stuff through the network. Okay, so this new use case that we are seeing is very good because it gives another utility to the token, and at the same time it solves the spam problem, and we can keep it free. That means we're lowering the barriers of usage and entry to the minimum. Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we go to the my profile, and I'm going to show you there what I added there is the declaration at the profile level of these entities that are going to be using the peer-to-peer network, right?
Mm-hmm.
So which are these entities? On one side, I cannot really see because it's very small in my screen, but
Me
okay, maybe
There we
there.
go. Is that a little better?
Yeah, okay, it's a little bit better. As you can see, there is one node that is user apps, user bots, social
Mm-hmm.
personas, and peer-to-peer network nodes. Okay, so let's start with the nodes, net peer-to-peer network nodes.
Okay.
People running nodes will declare the nodes they are running in this way through this node uh, that may have any number of nodes. You may run any number of nodes, okay,
Okay.
in the peer-to-peer network. So what you're declaring here is which is the configuration these nodes are going to have. If you open the config, you will see that there there should be the host name, the address, the ports, how to talk with these nodes.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you can close that. But also, you will define which is the what we call the signing account, the account that they are going to be using to sign the messages uh, representing themselves in the network, so that other can verify the signatures and know that they are talking to Brett node number one or Brett node number two. Okay, so there
Mm-hmm.
is a signature there. Okay, so why does each of these entities have an account if your profile already have an account? That's a good question, right?
Yeah.
The answer to that is that the private key, you need the private key to sign a message cryptographically. Okay, that's true for everything like
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin, Ethereum. You need a private key. That's why you have a private key in a wallet to sign the transactions to move your assets. Okay, so we don't want people to have the private key of the user profile at their phone or at their desktop or at their server to run a node. Okay, we don't want that. That would be equivalent to a hot wallet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want that. And so to prevent that, we are going to create a private key for each of these entities that are going to be stored, obviously locally, otherwise they cannot sign their messages. But if they are compromised, then your funds are still safe because the private key of the profile is never at those places. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So um, so we have that each of these entities have a private key and they will be signing transactions. Let's explore a little bit which are the other entities there.
Okay.
We have the peer-to-peer network nodes, another one that is called social personas. Okay, this is you have to think about the user profile as the user of the super algo of the, or as a user of the Superalgos system. Okay, it's your
Mm-hmm.
profile inside the Superalgos system, whatever that means. All the applications, that's your user profile. Okay, and once you have a mobile app, for example, like Twitter, this a social persona is like a Twitter account. You know that you can have more than a Twitter account, right?
Right.
So you may have more than one social persona, but they are all tied to your user profile. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And because your user profile is a plugin in the system. That means that wherever the code base is available, then the relationship between all these personas and a certain profile are available too, right? That's in fact how you verify that you're talking to the right person. Okay, let's say that you're following my bot. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and inside your mobile phone, you have access to my profile. Okay, because even if you don't have the source code, because you're not cloning the repository into your mobile phone can still check the GitHub repository with all the profiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you if you have my profile, you know, because my profile have this node with these children, okay? They know which is the identity of my bot, right? And they know which is the account associated to my bot. And when my bot signs a signal and you receive it at your phone, from the signature you can recover an account, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you compare the account you recover with the one that is in my profile, and if they match, it means that is truly coming from my bot, okay, and not from somebody else, okay.
Okay.
That's the verification. There is another verification that is you hash the message and you compare it with the hash that is coming in the signature,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to match two to make sure that nobody change the message in the middle, right? So that's how things are connected, okay. So these social personas, the concept of a social persona is the equivalent of a different account in Twitter or in a social network. And you may have any number of social personas all attached to your profile. And for any of them, you will also need token power, um, because they will be interacting with the network, writing posts or replying, reacting, or doing whatever, or making queries to the network. Okay, and there will be a rate limit for everything they do. So with enough token power, your rate limit um, is going to be good. And if you don't have any token power, it's going to be not so good. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Any questions so far?
Just to clarify, or I guess a more simple, basic question. So these are all based off of more or less, uh, kind of like wallet addresses or chain addresses, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. This
And
the signing account. I mean, the node of the persona represents the persona itself. It might have
mm-hmm.
a bio or whatever. Okay, the typical text you put uh, in your profile. Okay,
Right.
but the signing account that is a child of each of these nodes.
Mm-hmm.
Signing account is a blockchain account. Okay,
Right.
it's a
Here
blockchain
it is.
account that has a private key. What we store there um, is the signal is a signed message in this
Mm-hmm.
case, where that essentially by storing this signed message we can we can make this comparison that I was telling you about. We
Okay.
compare what we recover from the signatures
Mm-hmm.
and what the profile has. Okay.
Okay. And then
Uh,
these posts are going on the blockchain as well.
This which one?
The are the social, so I have essentially a Twitter account, let's just say, as my social persona. And these are going through Superalgos and being posted on the blockchain. And so people are following
Mm,
the
you
posts on the
mean
blockchain
what do
as
you mean
well.
with blockchain? The Binance blockchain or our peer-to-peer network?
Um, is the peer-to-peer network similar
Uh,
to the Binance blockchain? Is it running on
No,
top of the blockchain,
no, but
or
that's a very good question
okay,
because I forgot to explain that. Our peer-to-peer network is not a blockchain, okay?
okay,
Bitcoin has a blockchain, Ethereum has a blockchain, and they have it for good reasons, okay?
mm-hmm,
A blockchain is a technology that allows to solve the problem of distributed consensus, meaning that different entities to agree on a certain state of a
mm-hmm,
ledger. So they pack this transaction in blocks, and that's why they call it a blockchain. In our case, our peer-to-peer network is not about recording transactions. We don't do that. There are
Okay.
well, the peer-to-peer network. Our peer-to-peer network deals with three different things. One are queries. Okay, the queries are about which are the latest. Uh, give me my timeline with all the events that happen, okay, that
Mhm.
are relevant to me. That's a query, okay? Which are all the people that I can follow? Which are all the bots that my bot can follow, okay? These are queries, okay? So queries is number one. Number two are events, right? Events is when you press the follow button, you are raising an event into the network that is going to be distributed to all the people that are following you, right? That is relevant for them. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, when you write a post, or when you reply a post, or when you react to a post, all these are events, right?
Right.
The main difference with a query is that an event changes the state of the information that is stored in each node. Okay. So which is the information that is stored in each node? Is what we call the social graph. Is a set of relationship between different entities that are the social personas and the social trading bots. Okay,
Mhm.
social personas can follow other social personas, can see their post, can reply to their post, and react to the post. Social trading bots can follow other social trading bots, and they can see when the ones that they are following are trading, and they can copy their trade, okay, and 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 it works like that. So the relationship between these entities, who follows who and who posted what and which who replied to what which post and who reacted, that is the our social graph, and that is what each node has at their memory when they are running, right?
Okay.
It's not a blockchain or not transaction. They are not even blocks. It's a social graph that is being built with these events. Okay.
Okay.
Um, okay. And the third thing that these peer-to-peer nodes deal with are signals themselves. Signals are not events in the sense that they don't change the state of the relationship between these entities.
Mhm.
Signals are something that somebody put into the network and needs to be distributed to all the recipients that have subscribed to that signal, okay? Meaning to all the bots that are following the bot who send the signal, okay? Um, it is also not a query, because if you think about it, a query is something initiated by the network client, and the network node responds with an answer. A
Mhm.
signal is different. An entity put a signal inside and doesn't expect any response in this case, and the signal just travel across the network, uh, going in all directions until it reaches all the entities that are waiting for it. Okay, so it's a different handling of that. So three things in the network: queries, events, and signals. Okay,
Okay.
I will go into, or maybe I can go into a little bit of more detail of how it works inside this before continuing with the rest of the nodes that I can see there.
Okay.
Um, so let's say you have your mobile phone or the desktop app, right? And you write a post, and then you hit enter or send, and you send the post.
Mhm.
The next question is, what happens then? Where is the information of the text that you type stored? Okay, where is it stored?
Mhm.
Is it stored at the node? That would mean that the node would grow very quickly with all the shit that people post. And if they post, what happens if they post pictures and videos and all this stuff?
Mhm.
Will also be at the node. It's like it doesn't look very well, right?
Mhm.
And the answer is no. It's not at the node. We have a mechanism that solves the problem of storing information of users. That is also very good in the sense that it enables users to have control of their own data. That is something that a lot of projects are aiming to when they are doing this kind of distributed social networks. So how will it work in our case? How is it working? Because it's already working like this. The node receives when your phone or the desktop app, when you make a post, actually what you are doing first is you are saving the content of your post into a repository that the mobile application or the desktop application creates for you at your GitHub account. Okay, that
Okay.
is called my social post or something like this. Okay, so it will save it there inside a structure of folders, and it will save it there. Essentially, save it there, and it will tell the network, look, Brett wrote this post, or reply to that post with this, or reposted this, or whatever. Okay, in every case that there is content, it's going to go through this path. It's going to put it in the repository that is public and is on GitHub, available for anybody to see. Okay, the problem is that nobody knows that you are putting that post there. So
Mm-hmm.
your application is sending the metadata of the post. It means the timestamp and the hash of the post.
Mm-hmm.
That is the ID of the post. It's sending it to the peer-to-peer network as an event that you posted something. Okay, so that is going to enter into the node, and it's going to be, because it's an event, changes the state of the social graph. Is going to be applied to the social graph, and your post is going to be part of the graph. Okay, a graph is a set of interrelated nodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mathematical concept. Okay, so once it is applied successfully at the node, then it's going to be spread. It's going to spread through all the nodes in the network, and at each node is going to see if there are entities following you. If you're and if they are following you, the event is going to flow to them too. Okay, so that they may display a notification or an update the application more or less in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So this application, let's say I am following you, and I'm connected to another node, and when this event flows to that node, then it flows into my phone. Okay, so what my phone does is that it gets this metadata that Brett um, made a post, and I have the ID and the hash of the post and the timestamp. Okay, with that information, I can go. My phones goes on the background, goes to to your GitHub repository and fetches the content, whether it is text, audio, video, or whatever. Fetches the content, and then it show it to me on the screen. Okay,
Okay.
makes sense.
So
So
GitHub is the file system, somewhat.
GitHub is
But
the storage system.
okay.
Is for now the storage system. Eventually, this could evolve for not being GitHub and being something else.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, in the stage of the project, it's very good for us because GitHub provides free repositories for everyone up to 10 gigabytes. So if you see the mobile app or the desktop app, one of the first things that they ask you is your GitHub account. And if you don't have, you need to sign up and put your GitHub token.
Mm-hmm.
And then the app on the background is going to create a fork for you and create this empty repository for you and use it as a storage place. Okay, which is great because that is exactly which many people are trying to achieve with allowing people to hold their own data.
Mm-hmm.
That means that if one day you want to delete everything, you can do it because you own the account of GitHub where everything is stored,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to
Right.
write to delete everything and it's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, because you own the account, nobody can go and change whatever you have there. Okay, except GitHub itself. Okay, but GitHub is the number one provider worldwide of Git repository. They are not going to be meddling with individuals, like at least for not for now.
Yeah.
And
Well, they'll have bigger problems if they're allowing that to happen.
yeah, for a long while. And Once we become a problem, probably for them, probably we have already an army of developers uh, making us not dependent on GitHub at all. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. Um, okay, so I think this setup acquires this nice property that you own your data, you can delete it whenever you want, nobody can modify it for you, and even you cannot modify yourself because these posts are saved, and the hash of the post is used as the ID of the post. So if one day you want to change a post and say, no, I didn't say that, I say something else, then whoever is looking for the ID of the post at the social graph is not going to find the post because it doesn't match the hash, right? So all these properties are nice to have. And that is how this will work like in more detail. Any questions there, Brett?
No. That answered a lot of the questions that I was going to ask, though, is, yeah, so where does the data live? Who owns it? And, are there any plans on upgrading the system later?
Yeah, not very specific plans, but I can imagine that the next iteration of that would be to have a multiple storage provider,
Mm-hmm.
so GitHub and many others. And then another iteration of that would be to allow the user to self-store their own data, for example. And then you have everything covered because then you're censorship resistant at the storage layer
Mm-hmm.
because GitHub kick us out, then we have others, and eventually we have personal storage also possible.
Okay.
And,
Um,
and, and talking about personal storage, there is also one aspect of the project that Nuno would like to know where we are standing. There is, if if we are going to be able to run our nodes locally at home, or it only can be run at a server in the cloud where we have public IP addresses. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So regarding that question, um, initially the first iteration is built on WebSockets, and on WebSockets for this for most of the queries and events. For the signals themselves, it's not yet done. That is what I'm going to be doing. But most likely there is going to be an HTTP interface because it doesn't need to be connected via WebSocket to send a signal and
Okay.
forget about it. But that means that in the first iteration, IP address should be reachable from everywhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of that iteration, we will start uh, digging there, and so as to have an alternative to be able to run the nodes from home. And that's one dimension that Nuno may help. Some people talk about WebRTC as a technology
Mm-hmm.
that will allow to run a node, but there are many other alternatives. So, but the first iteration is going to be WebSocket and HTTP. And from there, somebody's going to figure out how to allow us. And once we can run nodes at home, then that means that we might have the solution for our own storage, okay? Because we might store our own data even at home and not needing to depend on GitHub, okay?
Okay.
That's very good, okay? Okay, um, so let's go with the next nodes there that are there.
This one is the user bots.
User bot. So you can open this one, and there you have this type of entity that are social trading bots. Okay, not to confuse with trading bots or
Mm-hmm.
with social bots. We have them all. The social bots are the ones that you are dealing with that are sending announcement to Telegram, Twitter, Discord, and Slack. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
social bots. The social trading bots are the ones that will be at the mobile app or the desktop app, and that are going to be following other social trading bots. And this following means copying their trade. Okay, these
Okay.
are the social trading bots. And the trading bot is the one that runs in at the platform and the Superalgos platform inside the task. Okay, when you put run task and run session of a trading bot,
Mhm.
this is a trading bot, the one that has one or more strategy inside the trading system, and that they use a trading engine as a memory data structure. Okay,
Mhm.
this is a trading bot. Okay, so we have all these things. Not please, people don't confuse it, because we need to separate these concepts so that every piece fit well wherever they need to fit. Okay. So similar to the social personas, the social trading bot also have a signing account, okay? Because people will be following certain social trading bots, and they will be sending out signals, so they have to sign those messages, okay? Yeah,
Yep. Okay.
okay. Okay, if we go to where it says available signals there,
Okay.
okay, this is a work in progress. Probably it's not going to end up being exactly like this, but the overall idea is how do we connect how do we connect a trading bot with a social trading bot? Okay,
Mhm.
we connect a trading bot, because a trading bot, we know what we can do today. We can do back testing, uh, live trading. Okay,
Mhm.
but it doesn't send signal. It doesn't know the concept of signal. So I'm making the upgrade of the trading bot to be able to send signals. Okay, so the signals are going to be sent um, probably through one of these social trading bots. Okay,
Okay.
so if you see it from the social trading perspective, you're not going to be following a trading bot. You're always following a social trading bot. Okay,
Mhm.
but what it will happen is that a social trading bot will be uh, referenced by a trading bot. So from a task where you have a trading bot, you will
Mhm.
have new references available to reference this one of your at your profile, one of your social trading bot, and you need all these inside nodes,
Mhm.
because you're going to be making different references for different stuff, probably for open stage or managed stage, the different type of signals. Okay,
Mhm.
so yeah, and the reason to have all this level of detail is to give maximum flexibility. You might want, I don't know, to to manage in detail, let's say. Okay,
Okay.
so far so good.
Mhm.
Does the picture looks well?
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Okay, so we will go down a little bit more below the social trading bots. We have, what else do we have?
The
Okay,
user apps.
user apps. Okay, you can open that one. User apps. User apps are the ones that you can see there. Um, Mobile apps, desktop app, and server apps. Okay, we already knew that. The inside the desktop app, you have the platform itself. Okay, is one type of desktop apps, and the social trading desktop app, more specifically, is the one that we are developing in these days. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So all of these entities are going to be clients of the peer-to-peer network in a certain way. Okay. Uh, so the desktop app needs a sign-in account. The platform needs a sign-in account. Okay. And the mobile app, each mobile app that you might have,
Mm-hmm.
uh, accessing using your profile will have a sign-in account. Okay,
Okay.
that means that if the platform itself needs to connect to the network in order to listen for signals that are going to be routed to a bot that is going to be consuming the signal and acting inside the platform itself need to connect to the network, present themselves to the network, and sign their identity with their sign-in account. Okay, so as to be authenticated and be allowed to join the network. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Um, what else do we have there? There is on the server side. I have put a few task server app also as entities accessing the network. Okay. Um, all this is a work in progress,
Okay.
and probably I will not go into a lot of detail, but I could see when I was doing this that at the task level uh, you will also be connecting to the network and doing stuff there, probably providing signals.
Okay.
The signals you might have any number of trading bots running in your hardware, and each of these bots are running inside a task. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if these bots are all sending signals through the network, okay, uh, somebody has to authenticate in the network so as to get connected to the network, and that
Mm-hmm.
is the task itself. Okay, so that's why all these definitions, but this might change a little bit because still very early where we are. Okay, so this is the overview of what is new on the profile. How do you like that, Brett?
It's very interesting. Um, I think the the potential power of this is huge, and it sounds like there's still some details to be worked out, but it's definitely I think a solid base to get started with. Um, I would say maybe these social apps and some of these nodes may be the ones that I don't even know what questions to ask, but I may not be as clear on exactly what purpose they serve necessarily. Um, but the bots and the personas and the network nodes just kind of to me conceptually make much more sense in terms
Yeah.
of what they're
The
doing
apps, the
and how they're
apps and the
being
nodes,
used.
yeah, the apps and the nodes identities because everybody has to authenticate themselves and be sure who they are talking to. Okay,
Right.
even one node needs to connect to other nodes. They need to connect in a certain way because we want these signals to be distributed first to the people
Hmm.
holding more tokens. So the network cannot be a network where the nodes are randomly connected between each other because otherwise we cannot guarantee that that the signals are going to arrive first to the people who have more tokens.
Okay.
So the network itself has to arrange itself, have to self-arrange in a way that is uh, is relevant to the amount of token of each node. Okay,
Okay.
so that it can flow from node to node in a certain order, or more or less in a certain order, and then the device is connected to the network also will connect to the nodes according to the amount of tokens that they are holding. Uh, in that way, uh, the distribution can be more natural, more organic, because the things are interconnected by themselves, taking into account the amount of tokens, right?
Okay.
Um, so in order to validate if I connect to your node to validate that it's your node and how many tokens it have, okay, all these entities needs an identity that can be verified cryptographically and
Hmm.
that I can compare it to the definition that I can find in your profile, okay, that is
Okay.
available. Okay?
Okay, so these nodes are more for like sharing your signature and allowing people to verify you as opposed to the like under the user apps. just kind of saying like I'm a part of the network. This is who I am. This is my signature.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. All of these are this kind of definition. All the entities that you are using as a user of Superalgos
Mm-hmm.
are using one desktop app, two mobile app, three task servers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You declare everything and you create an identity for all this, so that they can interact later each other, and other entities can accept them also. No, that doesn't mean that people are going to be creating this individually. For
Mm-hmm.
example, what Alexandru is doing is he's creating on behalf of the user the underlying structure without showing the end user what is going on. Okay, which
Okay.
makes a lot of sense. But because at the platform we have everything detailed for everybody to do it as they want, we have it in this way. Like you can see all the plumbing, essentially.
Okay. That sounds good. It's good to be out in the open and allow people to view it and audit it.
Yeah, I think another thing we can talk about, I don't know if now or some other day, is the integration that we will have with the profile manager that Phil is doing. The
Okay.
portfolio manager, not portfolio manager, because it has some similar stuff. But maybe we can bring Phil one day and talk to him.
That's a good idea. Get some insights into the different projects that are going on
Yeah, yeah.
from the
Maybe we
source.
we leave it for Phil himself, or we come the three together and we explain that too.
Okay, great. Are there any other details that you would like to go into about the peer-to-peer network? I didn't see any other questions come in, and I wasn't really following the conversation that you were having with Nuno, so I'm not sure what other questions he had himself.
Um, well, I don't know which questions he might have, but I
Mm-hmm.
think we cover pretty much everything that should be known as of today.
Okay.
There is already people working on the desktop. There is already people working on the mobile. The peer-to-peer network is a little bit ahead of the other two,
Okay.
so there is still some time until they catch up to the current state. And in the meantime, I will be working on the signals so that we can have one bot at the platform following another bot at the platform with quite amount of detail, let's say.
Okay.
But yeah, but we can talk about that maybe in a week once I advance a little bit more, so that I can give you a lot more detail of how that would work.
Okay. Sounds good. And then I guess just generally, if I know security comes up very frequently with new users jumping in the channel and old users. Since you did mention that these will be your local server will need to be accessible by the internet. Um, is there going to be encryption between different networks? So like I'm following you connecting to your server at your house, is that an encrypted connection? Um, or is that going to be basically just I need to use the signature that you provide to then verify that the data that you're sending over was specifically you?
Well, it doesn't really need to be anything encrypted. If you think about it, Bitcoin transactions, the feature of digital signature, cryptographic signatures, that allows you to verify without doubt or any doubt that whoever is signing a message is owning a certain private key. And in our case, we want to know if that entity owns the private key associated to the profile where we are following a certain bot or entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is enough. It doesn't matter if it is encrypted or not, because nothing is secret of what we are dealing with. At least we don't see it now. Maybe in the future we see the need for things to be encrypted, but as of today, if whatever you write, anyway, people will be able to see them if it is a post. And if it is a signal, I don't see right now the need to have them encrypted. It's enough to know and to be sure who is sending that, and that nobody change it on the way. Okay.
Okay. How is it going to be separated from the current workspace and platform to ensure that somebody doesn't get access to, for example, the keys that I have stored in my workspace?
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that part. There is a that's good. Um, you see these no signing accounts that
Mm-hmm.
they were inside there. You cannot really create them like adding that node from their parents. You need you need a profile constructor, the same guy that helped you create the profile
Mm-hmm.
on the first place. You need one of those to be referencing your profile, and then you have a menu item there to install the signing accounts. So it's going
Okay.
to scan all this structure, and it's going to find all the entities that need a signing account, and it's going to create one signing account for them, and it's going to produce the signature and create a private key for each of them.
Okay.
And all of that is going to be saved at a new folder that we have with My Secrets. It's called My Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
It's a folder that you will have locally with all this private key. You will have it in your local computer. Okay. Okay. Again, the first iteration is not going to be encrypted or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Somebody will take care of that after everything is working and all the pieces fit together. Um, so essentially, maybe you can open the file called environment.
Um,
Yes.
which which one?
In
Under.
Is on the at the root of the of the Superalgos directory. Environment.
Oh, in the code base itself.
Yes.
All right. Let me get in. Let's see here. Sorry. Environment.
Okay. If you go down this file, you will see that you have this mobile app sign-in account, and it says
Mm-hmm.
social trading app mobile one, or you have peer-to-peer network node sign-in account,
Mm-hmm.
peer-to-peer network node. What that this means that if you run a network node now from because you already have the code there, if you run it, the network node is going to run with the identity peer-to-peer network node 1. Even if you have more than one, it's going to pick that identity. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want it to run with the identity of the network node 2, then you change it there. Okay. And this is related with the secret files, because if he's running with peer-to-peer network node 1, what he's going to do is going to go to the secrets file and get the private key of the peer-to-peer network node 1, and is going to sign all the messages with that private key. Okay.
Okay.
This is good to know if you're going to be testing this, the network node or the desktop app or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because so to recap, with the profile constructor referencing your user profile, you can hit the menu install sign-in accounts, and it's going to create all these sign-in account nodes, sign them, and at the same time collect all the private keys and save it in my secret file for you. And it's going to be ready with this default configuration that is going to run the nodes with the identity number 1. The
Okay.
same is true for other stuff like the platform sign account is going to use the algotrading platform 1, or the mobile app 1, or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I have any other questions. Um, Thank you for that walkthrough, because I haven't really heard anything about the peer-to-peer system, so this is all brand new to me.
So
Sounds,
everything is new to you, right?
yeah.
Okay. Well, now you're up to date.
All right. What other milestones do you think that you have in mind for the month coming up?
Well, that I know, the guys of the desktop, guys of mobile app, my milestone of being able to synchronize two bots inside the platform through
Mm-hmm.
Signal, and I following Phil's work with the portfolio manager. The portfolio manager is going to allow you to run multiple trading bots. But what is the problem today? The problem is that when you run a trading bot, is totally unaware of other trading bots you might be running. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you might be sharing your capital between many different bots. Okay, and that's one problem. The other problem is when you want to run strategies at different markets. You're monitoring 20 different markets, and you want to enter only at one of them at the time. Okay, but not at the same time, even if what you are monitoring happen in many different markets. So to solve these two problems and many other problems that arise when every trading bot is running autonomously, we need a higher concept level, the concept of a manager for this, like a portfolio manager. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the idea is that you will be able to you will be able to declare at your trading strategy which events or formulas need to be either um, confirmed by the portfolio manager or even set by the portfolio manager, because it's like in the human case, it's like a trader and his boss. Okay, his boss know what is going on with all the traders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there might be a rule that say, okay, before taking position, tell me and I will confirm yes or no. Okay, the boss might say that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
or before taking position, tell me how much you want to put as a target, and I will confirm yes or no. Or I might even would like to tell you when to take position, or maybe I want to tell you which is the size you are going to use. Okay, for whatever reason, because I know more than you. Okay, I'm the boss. I'm seeing all the traders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing all the accounts. I seeing all the capital, and I have the rules regarding the risk management. So I'm going to tell you. So we feel that, and it's going to be very detailed so that people can have very fine detail of how to and what to ask and when and for which events, for which formula you will be able to do it in a very detailed way. But essentially, when that is done, uh, I don't know if he's going to make it for December because it's a little bit complicated, but
Mm-hmm.
he will try to have something working for the end of the month.
Okay.
Once that is done, you might be able to run multiple trading bots at multiple markets, at multiple exchanges, from multiple machines, coordinated by a single portfolio manager
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be answering these questions from any of these bots and synchronizing them and starting strategy or stopping them or changing the size or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because it has access to much more information. Okay, so that's the first iteration of that. The first iteration. But once that start evolving, who knows where it's going to get.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Just thinking back to myself with my own cluster, think I'm running close to 20 markets right now across 3 different exchanges.
Mm.
And when I want to rebalance or make a change or something like that, I have to go in, stop it manually, make the updates myself manually. So that'll be pretty interesting to have kind of like a not really a central database, but a central manager, as you were saying, that controls
Yes,
all of that for me automatically.
yes. From that need, one of the first things that Phil had to do is to upgrade the concept of task.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we task for me should be an independent project at the code base level. Still is inside foundation, but all this task dimension of the project, there is a lot to improve there. One of the improvements he had to make for this is to enable the concept of manage tasks and
Mm-hmm.
manage sessions. That means that what you will see when you will have the portfolio manager task that has a portfolio bot inside, but the task itself might have as a child manage tasks, okay, and from there task references that you can reference different tasks in your workspace, okay. So that means that when you run the portfolio manager, because of that declaration of managed task, is going to run all the tasks that are managed by the portfolio manager. Okay, you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And when you run the portfolio manager session, it will run all the managed sessions of all the trading bots that are kind of being managed by this portfolio manager. Okay,
Okay.
but this was done in a generic way, so that is a feature of the task project essentially, and
Okay.
it might evolve later with more features and might be used also for other stuff beyond the portfolio manager. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mhm. Yeah, and besides that, I don't know of other stuff being done because other developers are working in different stuff, but in more shorter term, and when they finish, they pick something else.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like the more longer term line of development
Okay.
going on right now.
All right. Um, I think that's all the questions I have.
Amazing. Okay. Thank
All
you for
right. Well,
having me on again.
yeah, thanks for your time. It was very interesting as always. And again, to anybody who's new to the project and just finding this, Superalgos, find us on GitHub, Reddit community, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow me on Twitch and YouTube. I'll have this video posted up on YouTube hopefully before the end of the day. And yeah, find us in Telegram, come ask questions, and we also have a Discord channel. So looking forward to seeing everybody there.
Amazing.
Um,
Cheers
yeah,
to everyone.
this we'll call it quits and see you on the interwebs. See you all.
See you.